If you with it, drop it.
Hi everyone, it's me Mariel, and I'm here to tell you all you need to know about disaster preparedness, the things we need to prepare, what to do during disaster, who do we call for help, and some quick fact on disaster current here in the Philippines without further ado. So let's get started. What are the things that we need beforehand? First and foremost important, water. For drinking and sanitation, food at least 3 days supply of non-perishable food, battery-powered radio, cell phone with chargers, and backup batteries for contact purposes, flashlight in case to get start, first aid kit, whistle, mask, wipes for personal sanitation, local maps, and finally a plastic sheet and duct tape for shelter purposes.
Hi, this is Jocelyn A. Manayaga. Next, what to do before, during, and after the disaster. Before a disaster, we should first aid an emergency plan for your own family at home. Make sure that everything we need is easily accessible in case of sudden disasters. Also, we should be knowledgeable on what protective measures before, during, and after the evacuation. This is for preparation for whatever type of evacuation what will be carried out in your specific area. Lastly, we should put into mind your local emergency contact, or better to put in a place we see it. In case of disaster strike and your family needs immediate earlier you call, the faster you be taken care of or rescued.
Now, during a disaster, first thing you should always put into mind is to stay calm. Because if you are calm, you think more properly and you make more wise decisions that would reflect on your action. Next thing you need to do is wait for further instructions and follow your area's protocols on how to evacuate. This is to ensure that everyone is safe and no one will go missing.
After the disaster strike, you should find a safe place to stay and check in with your local official for their instructions. Second, before you return home, you should make sure it is safe and only do so when your local officials instructed you to. If you encounter a problem financially, reach out to your local relief organization for assistance. Most importantly, check in with your family member, ask them how they feel, and comfort them when needed. This is important so that each member would know how to cope with their feelings after the disaster. Now that I have told you the things you need to know before, during, and after the disaster, here are the contact numbers you need to list down in case of an emergency. First, your needed family. Second, your local barangay. Third, fire disaster department. Fourth, local police station. Fifth, your local hospital. Sixth, your national emergency hotline, and in the Philippines, it is 911. Make sure you keep a list of these contact numbers in your home in case of an emergency. I will be providing you with some quick facts related to disasters in the Philippines. First, the Philippines, infatuated within the Pacific Ring of Fire, a 40,000 kilometers long U-shaped fault zone in the Pacific Ocean, making us vulnerable to earthquake and volcanic eruption. Second, aside from the COVID-19 pandemic, two major disasters have recently occurred in the country: Typhoon Ulysses and the Taal volcano eruption. This halted public life, business, and mobility, which greatly affected the Philippines economy. Third and last fact, the local government units in the Philippines are the ones responsible for rehabilitating the society or rebuilding infrastructure for the after of natural disasters that come into our country. According to recent study, disaster risk mitigation expenses for rehabilitation and recovery in the Philippines, with the largest government expenditure totaling to approximately 16.2 billion pesos. That's all for this video. I hope you've acquired a thing to do on how we deal the disasters, especially here in our country. Just keep in mind that it's always better to prepare now than fail to do so once the worst has come. So, stay safe everyone!